The King County Council will vote on a measure in response to a trend among merchants to stop accepting cash. KIRO News Radio's Sam Campbell is here with that story. Sam?
Yes, Dave. So the King County Council is set to vote on this measure today, and if passed, it would require the businesses in unincorporated King County to accept cash. The Seattle Times reports that's about 1,500 businesses, but the exact number of people that this might impact is unclear. The legislation's proponents say keeping the physical means of payment will make sure everyone can buy merchandise, even if they don't have a credit card, which they say disproportionately impacts seniors and some members of the African-American community as well as the Hispanic community. Some businesses have transitioned entirely to cashless transactions, though, because of the pandemic. Others say keeping cash on site makes them a target for violent crime like robberies. So it's a complex issue, and about 300,000 people live in the unincorporated part of the county, but we're unclear on how many people exactly are what they would call underbanked, not having access to digital forms of currencies. Now, I was looking into this issue a little bit deeper to see what other places around the country, what other cities and states had enacted similar legislation, because I remember this idea was being talked about a lot in different state legislatures, and it turns out that New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island all have laws in place that prohibit businesses from banning cash. But there's no federal law that prohibits businesses from going cashless.
Once upon a time, the dollar said this must be legal tender public for debts public and private, right? I thought that was like a constitutional concept.
It does still say that it's still legal tender, but on the Federal Reserve's own website, it says that there's nothing that technically prohibits any business from going cashless unless there is a separate state or city ordinance that would prevent that.
I think ultimately, isn't the U.S. considering its own digital currency, which in that case, everybody would have a card that could be used essentially like cash?
That's my problem. I need them to stop being cash only because I barely ever have cash. So if we did have that digital currency, that might include more people. Now, I know the robbery stuff and the credit card fees. Are there any other stronger opinions against it? Because it sounds like this is going to pass today.
As far as I understand, safety was the largest concern for keeping cash on site for a lot of these different businesses. But, while I've been reporting on this, I seem to remember that during the pandemic, there was this trend on social media, on Facebook, of other people telling others that, like you mentioned, Dave, because cash is legal tender, but they went one step further and said if a business refuses to accept cash, then you don't actually have to pay your bill.
Yeah, don't do
Which
that.
is not true.
Don't do that.
That's not true. You definitely still have to pay the bill.
Yeah. All right, the vote happening today?
Vote is happening today. At least it's supposed to. It was postponed, so we'll see if it happens today.
Sam Campbell. Thank you, Sam.